All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I am excited to see you joining me online tonight. You all dedicated so much mental energy in our last session or in our previous sessions, which of course focuses on those tricky English sounds like L, the V, and especially the curling of your tongue, which is the R. So you gave your brains a wonderful workout, and you should be proud of that. Anyway, tonight in this session, we are moving into a foundational topic that you will use every single day right away, and that is on numbers. We are going to start with number 1 to 10. Again, this is lesson 3, and we are aiming for complete and confident mastery of numbers 1 through 10. Now, think about what very vital or essential or important in English. We use them to talk about money, to share our phone number, to check the time zone for our online class, and to describe simple quantities. Our goal here today or this session is to make saying and as well as hearing these first 10 numbers automatic and correct to you. We need to confidently say, confidently write, and even understand them. Okay? Again, our lesson is about numbers. But before that, let me just check if I am audible enough in your end. Let me check my mic. Okay, everything's good. We're going to continue or start with numbers 1 to 10. Okay, so you are going to know, say, and especially naturally hear in your daily life. So all throughout, hopefully, it will be part of your system already. It will be part of your vocabulary already, so that you can really naturally use these terms or the in daily life. Okay, we're going to start with the first number, which is 1. Okay, how do we say this? 1. So it will go like this. I will show you the number and the written word, like its name, this one. That's the written word. So you will see it on your screen, which is our visual aid. And then I want you to repeat the English word immediately after I finish speaking. So make sure that we look at the number and then examine the spelling. And of course, we try to pay exceptionally close attention to the specific physical location where the sound originates in your mouth, because that's what important is. Again, this is the first number. How do we say the first number? 1. Now, this particular number, 1, which represents a singular item or concept. So it is phonetically challenging because despite being spelled with the letter O at the beginning of the word, it, it does not sound like the long letter O, which is its basic sound. At the beginning of the word, it does not sound like that. It begins with a clear W sound. Ooh, one, one, right? So, which of course requires you to actively round your lips into this small, tight circle before you allow the air to really escape. So, you try to ensure the initial sound is really produced by the careful movement of your lips. Initial sound is the beginning sound, okay? Again, what's the initial sound of number 1 or 1? That is a clear W sound or woo sound. 1, 1. Okay? So, of course, you must say 1 again and then try to focus intently on the quick action of your lips. Okay? Again, this number is 1. How many is number 1? How many? It is single, meaning only this finger, just like what you see on your screen. That is number one. Okay? For a moment. So this is number one. This is its figure, the one on the left, and this is its word or the term or how you spell it out. Now, as you can see in this word or the spelling of the number one, what are the letters that makes up to it? We have, what is this letter? Do you remember your alphabet? That's our first lesson. This is O. Again, O. How about the second one? What is this letter? That is N. Again, the name of the letter is N. How about this one? Oh no, sorry for that. How about this one? The last one, that is letter E. E. So the letters, there are three letters to make up the word one or to spell out the number one. They are O, N, and E. How do you pronounce this number? One. Again, one. Okay, very good. This is number one. This is our first number. Next, we have two. Again, two. How do you say it? Two. One more time. Two. So that is number two. And as you can see, it doubles the fingers, or that's the figure. This is how number two looks like. This figure. How it's spelled like is this one. Now there are still, same with number one, there are three letters that makes up number two. Now, what are these letters? Can you tell me what these letters are? You can always type it in our chat box, okay? What are the different letters? Like, what is the name? Type how the name of these letters should be pronounced. It is, or they are. First, we have, what is this letter? What is the pronunciation of the name of this letter? This is T. Again, T. How about the second one? That is W. Again, W. Next, O. Again, O. Now for the number two, which is spelled TWO, you must observe that this is another complex or difficult English word because it contains a silent letter. Now, a silent letter, just like what its name, it means that you must completely ignore that letter in the spelling while you are trying to read it or while you're trying to speak it. That's a silent letter. It can be seen in the spelling, but it should not be part of your talking or speaking. So that's a silent letter. Ignore that letter. What do you think is a silent letter in this spelling of number two? That is W, the center. Because if you try to include it in the pronunciation or speaking, it sounds like tuo, tuo, tuo. And that is how we should not, no, and that is not how we should pronounce this number. Again, how do you pronounce this number? This is two. Okay, two. So instead of the W, you must focus on starting the word with a sharp and voice T sound.
the letter T sound, this one, of course. So you try to focus on that, which is, of course, correctly articulated when your tongue tip precisely taps the ridge located just behind your top teeth. Okay? Which, of course, as we've already established it in our previous sessions, it causes a quick burst of air to be released. To be released. Two. Two. Right? So therefore, you need to say two really quickly and not just quick, but also clearly. Okay? You try to not include it any trace of a round lip movement or a sound of the letter W. Again, the spelling of number two, our number here is two, which of course, just like the picture here, there are double of the first finger, so that's two, and then the spelling is TWO. Now, how do we pronounce it? Two, two. There is a silent letter. What is that? That is W. Again, W. This is number two. So far, we've discussed with, you've already introduced to number one and number two. We are going to continue with this number. What is this number? What do you think is this number? That is three. Again, three. Now, pronunciation for the number three, it is absolutely critical that you correctly execute the challenging TH sound here. The TH sound, this one, the first two letters of the word. So you try to really execute it properly since it is an initial sound or a sound that is in the beginning. And this sound, it requires you to actively move your tongue to, gently press against your top teeth while you also simultaneously push a steady stream of air out between your tongue and your teeth, because this is a combination of two letters. So there are many things that, there are um a lot of things that is happening or that are happening here. So that is on this first initial sound, or in the initial sound of this word. So it is very important that you do not say the word three, because if you say three, it simply means your tongue is not touching your teeth at all. Okay? Three. No, that is not touching your teeth at all, your tongue. And of course, that is a common mistake. We understand that. That is a common mistake that we must correct right now. Therefore, what you need to do here is say three. Again, please say three very slowly. One, three, three. One more time. Three. So try to make sure that you can actually feel the soft air flowing past your tongue. Three, three. Of course, you do that while your mouth is in the correct position for the specific sound. So how do we pronounce this word or this number? Three, three. So the TH sound here is voiceless because it does not vibrate when you try to say it. There are two versions of the TH sound, that is voiced and voiceless. An example of voiceless TH sound is this one. Three, three. How about the voiced one? It is there, though, the. Those are voiced TH sounds. Okay? All right. Anyway, let's see if you identify or if you can identify the different letters that make up the spelling of this number. There are five letters. Let's start with this one. That is letter T. How about this one? That is letter H. This one, R, where you curl back your tongue. This one, E. Of course, the same case with this one. That is also an E. Now, What is this number? That is 3. Ian, 3. As you can see in the picture, this is the amount of number 3. Okay, next, number 4. Again, 4. In the case of the number 4, the pronunciation, it is really straightforward because it begins with a familiar F sound, which of course you try to create it by letting your top teeth rest lightly on your bottom lip, inside of your bottom lip. And you try to remember that F sound is always unvoiced. So no vibrations at all if you try to say it while touching your neck. Okay? So here, you try to really intentionally extend the initial F sound for a fraction of a second before you continue with the rest of the word. And then the word should smoothly transition into the final sound, which is the letter R sound. Of course, here, the, it should be correctly produced by curling your tongue back toward the center of your mouth without actually allowing it to make contact with the roof of your mouth. So try to articulate the pronunciation of this figure, that is 4. Try to really include that deliberate initial friction and the gentle tongue curl at the end to produce the letter R sound. Okay? Again, this number is 4. Again, 4. It starts with letter F and ends with letter R. Now, what is the pronunciation of letter F again? Do you remember from our previous discussions on alphabet? That is your tongue, no, not your tongue, but your upper teeth or top teeth is touching the inside of your bottom lip. How about letter R? It is R. So your tongue is curled back. Okay? That is letter R. Now, let's try to see if you identify the rest of the letters. We've already established that this is letter F. This one, letter O. How about this one? U. And this one is letter R. Now, this is the amount of number 4. Okay? You can always try using to really visualize it using your hand. Again, 4. Your hand or any item that you have there, you can do that. So, this is what 4 looks like. Okay? Next. This is number 5. Open your palm. That's number 5. There are 5 fingers. So this is number 5. Now, this is how 5 spelled like. Can you identify the different letters? We are going to start with this one. That is F. How about this one? That is, what number is this one? This is a vowel, right? And this is I. How about this one? That is a consonant. That is, what's the name of the letter? Letter V. And this one is another vowel, letter E. Now, when you practice the number 5, how it is pronounced, this single word is a perfect exercise for your speaking muscles because it uses two related sounds. The word begins with, quiet and voiced F sound, but it ends with a voiced partner or its voiced partner or equivalent, which is the loud, the buzzing, the voiced V sound. And this important shift from quiet to buzzing is absolutely essential for clear English speaking. And we can do that in this number. Okay, 5. You must be able to feel your bottom lip, vibrate strongly when you get to the V sound at the end of the word. And of course, this vibration, it just proves that your voice is actively turned on. Therefore, try saying FIVE. That is 5. Very slowly. Five. Okay. So you can clearly notice the, complete change from a silent sound at the start to a loud vibrating sound at the conclusion. And of course, this practice will make your pronunciation very, very strong. Okay. That is five. Let's move on to the next one. Again, this is the amount of number five. And this is how it looks like in figure. Next, we have, so we've already finished the first half of our numbers. Again, our topic is on numbers from 1 to 10. Already discussed what number? Number 1, which sounds like 1. It's not one, but 1. Okay? 1. It uses the W sound. 1. It makes up the letters, or the letters makes up the word 1. What are these letters? O, N, E. Next, we have 2. Again, this is number 2. How do you pronounce it? 2. So W here is a silent letter. Next, 3. 3. Again, that is number 3. So the TH sound here is voiceless. No vibrations at all. 3. Next, 4. Again, 4. So you start with F and end with R. Next, 5. 5. Okay, that is number 5, which makes up the letters F, I, V, E. F and V are really mirrored to each other. That is like very comparison of the two, because they what how they are pronounced, they are using the same mouth movement, the tongue movement. It's just that you use a sound here in letter V. So that's why it's vibrating. Okay? Let's move on to the other half of the numbers. Let's start with this one. So we're going to use two hands starting from now. Because from the start, 1 to 5, we only used one hand. So it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Only one hand is what you need here. But also out the second half of our numbers, you're going to use two hands. Okay? Let's start with number. What number is this? Number 6. This is its figure. Okay? Now for the spelling, please identify what are the name of the letters. Let's start with this one. That is letter S. How about this one? That is letter I. And last one, that is letter X, which makes up the word six. Again, six. That's how you pronounce it. Now the number um of these the number or the amount of this number is using two hands. 5 plus 1, which is equal to 6. Okay? We shall move on to the next number. Or, yeah, we're going to focus first on the pronunciation of number 6. I'm sorry, I almost forgot. But anyway, for the number 6, it is really obvious that it includes the letter X at its conclusion or ending. So with that in mind, we must remember that this single letter is actually a representation of two quick blended sounds that really occur very fast, which is unsaman, or what are these letters, combination of letters K and S for the letter X, because the pronunciation of X is X. So combination of K and S. Okay? So when you try to articulate it, pronounce it, you must ensure that your audience clearly hears that final, double sound blend confirming that you have not neglected the strong friction and the sharp stop at the very end of the word, which is an important um, pronunciation detail. Okay? That is six. The whole word is six. We move on to the next one. This is number seven. Again, seven. So there are two syllables here. Seven. This is how number seven looks like, and this is its spelling. Let's see if you can identify the letters. This one. What is this letter? It makes a hissing sound. S. How about this one? E. This one, it is voiced B. That's E. And then the last one. What do you think is this letter? That is letter N. Again, letter N. Seven. So this is what it looks like. Okay. This is the amount of number seven. 5 plus 2. That is number seven. Let's try to really count if this is number seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, that is number seven. Again, number seven. Now, when it comes to pronunciation, the word seven, which is, as I've mentioned earlier, it is a two-syllable word where the first syllable really carries the primary stress here or energy, let's say, for better understanding. So it requires really careful attention to the medial sound, at the middle, which is the V sound, located exactly in the middle of the word, right? Just between vowels. So accordingly, you must remember that your voice really need to remain fully engaged as well as vibrating when you produce the middle sound of the word. Okay? Otherwise, the word will sound like seven. We don't want that. It is seven, which is a common error. The seven one, seven with the letter F, that is a common error. Um, yeah, common error. Therefore, try to really properly say this word. That is seven. Seven. V, not F. Okay? Seven. So this is number seven. We shall move on to the next one. That is, what number is this? That is number eight. Again, number eight. So similar to the word two, the number eight is another example of a word containing letters that are completely silent. What do you think are the letters that are silent here in this word or spelling of number? What do you think? That is, there are two letters actually, letter G and letter H. Those are our silent letters. Meaning, since they are a silent letter, it means that um you must be you must entirely ignore it during your pronunciation of the word. Try to allow yourself to focus only on the sounds that are actually spoken in real life. Okay? So this word, it commences with a long A sound and concludes abruptly with a strong, quick, and voiced T sound. Okay? Starts with E and ends with T. So that is all for this number. Again, the number is 8. 8. 8. Okay. Now, these are the number or the amount of number 8. And this is its figure. Okay? Thank you. Let's move on to number 9. Again, number 9. This is number 9. Second to the last number for tonight or for this um session. Okay? Again, our Next number is 9. 9. Now, when it comes to the spelling of 9, there's only four letters there. Let's try to identify if you remember your letters. This one, N. This one, I. And this one, E. Okay? That is number 9. Its figure is this one, upside down number 6. Okay? This is num this is the pronunciation of number. Okay? Now, when it comes to its articulation or pronunciation of this particular number, number 9, it just, provides excellent focus practice for your nasal sound, which appears as both the start at the end of the word. Of course, it tries to require that your tongue, um, uh, you need to understand that when it comes to when it comes to the pronunciation of number 9, um, you should put your tongue tip, or you should allow it to touch the alveolar ridge behind your teeth. Top teeth and then the alveolar ridge behind your teeth. That's how you should do it. Okay? So, therefore, when it comes to this one, your teeth, not your teeth, but your nose, well, the air is fully redirected to flow only through your nose. So, it is a nasal sound. As we established that one. So, we can practice saying 9. Let's say 9. Again, 9. So, you should consciously feel the, soft buzzing vibration in your nasal cavity, which is the physical proof that you are correctly executing the voiced continuous nasal sound. For a moment. That is the nasal sound. Must also remember that the letter I in the middle of this word makes a long sound. What sound was that? What sound letter I makes? That is, what do you think? The sound of letter I, as we practice it many times, that is E. Again, E. E. Okay? E. That is the pronunciation of letter I. The next letter is N. And the last one is, okay, again, E. And this is the full spelling of what number? 9. 9. This is the amount of number 9, okay? 5 plus 4 fingers. That is number 9. So try to really focus on the soft buzz or vibration in your nose when you say the word. Let's move on to the last number. This is 10. Again, 10. Again, 10. Now, 10 is very simple. Okay? It's very simple. It does not really complicate you. Now, 10, when it comes to 10, this is the figure. It uses two figures, 1 and 0, which makes up the figure of number 10. Now, in here, the spellings are T-E-N. Again, T-E-N. Now, the final number, as I've mentioned, is number 10. This is the last one in our first set. And this is, a very solid and very important word to know. It has three clear parts, and we will practice each part very slowly. Okay? Part one is the starting sound. The word starts with sharp unvoiced sound, which is letter T sound. Remember, this sound is made up by tapping your tongue tip quickly just behind your teeth. And you try to push the air out fast and hard, but do not use your voice, okay? Try to conserve your energy as much as possible. Try to say the start of the letter or the letters itself, as well as the middle sound and the ending. So that is two, okay? Two. One more time, two. So this is the final number for tonight. This is the last one in our first set. This is a very solid and very important word to know. It has three clear parts, and we will practice each part very slowly. Part one is starting good. The word starts with a back up and voiced T sound. Remember, this sound is made by tapping your tongue tip quickly behind your teeth. Okay, that is middle sound. Okay, that is um the first sound, letter T. Anyways, as I've mentioned it a lot of times already, not just today, but also with our previous session, this sound is made by tapping your tongue tip quickly behind your front teeth. So try to push the air out fast and hard, but do not use your voice. Um try to say just the start, like T, 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 two. Okay? So continuing this, there's a middle sound too, right? The E sound. This is the short E sound, just like the sound you hear in the word egg, pen. Make a small as possible. Try to make a small, easy smile with your lips and say that short sound. E, E. This means that you must block the air with your tongue tip and push all air out throughout your nose. So you should feel soft buzz in your nose when you finish the air out throughout your nose. You should feel a soft buzz in your nose when you finish that. Okay? Now, when it comes to soft buzz when you finish that, the word T, that is a sharp air. E, it is short, sound. And N is nasal buzz. So put all three parts together now. It makes up the word 10. Again, 10. Let's see. That is number 10. Okay? So you now know all your 10 members or 10 numbers. Great job with this very detailed drilling practice. Again, we have discovered about or you are introduced to the different numbers from 1 to 10. Its figure, this one, the spelling of the word, this one, and how do you pronounce that word. Let's try to recap, do a quick review on these let's say numbers, from what numbers? 1 to 10. Okay, now repeat after me or with me if you already know what it is. First is 1, next is 2, followed by 3, 4, and 5. Okay, all right, now this is number 5. 6, that's the next one. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Again, 10. Okay, fantastic, everyone. You've drilled really properly how these words should be pronounced. Okay, now let's use these numbers to talk about ourselves and the world around us. But before that, let me show you again the set of numbers. So tell me, what number am I clicking? Okay? Tell me. You can type it in our chat bot, the spelling or the pronunciation of these numbers. Let's start with this one. How many numbers is it? 5 plus 2. That is number 7. How about this one? That is number 3. This one, number 1. This one and as well as this one. 5 plus 1, 6. How about this one? 5 plus 3, 8. Okay? Next number or next figure. What do you think is this figure? How many? What's the number? 5. Again, 5. This one. 4. How about this one? That is number 5 plus 4. Number 9. How about this one? Both hands are open wide. That is number 10. Okay? Those are our set of numbers for English. Numbers 1 to 10. Okay? All right. Now, we shall move on to activities, application, practice, drilling. Okay? So, how to do that. Now, when it comes to these everyday items, we already know or have met these items. Loyal numbers also help us count on simple really things, which is what we're going to practice right now. We're going to use the pictures from our material, basically the visuals of table, of board, and scissors even. And then we will switch to counting things that are physically present in your home, right next to your computer. Okay? This is this will be the practice for a moment because I'm low bat Okay, I'm back. I just charged my laptop. Anyway, again, we're going to practice. Okay? First, let's focus on the screen where I am showing. Let me find that one for a moment. Let's start with this one. Now, there is a table here. How many table do you see in this picture? This one. Start with this one. How many table do you see? There's only one. Again, how do you pronounce one? One. One. You used the W sound, okay? How do you pronounce one? That is O-N-E, okay? That is number one. O-N-E, one, okay? That is number one. For a moment, let me just, okay. This is number one. There's only one table.
Okay, we've already established that. This is number one. Okay, number one. And this is the very example. How many table? Only one. Again, only one. There's only one table. Let's move on to the next one. Let me check. Okay, this is a board. Again, our thing here or our thing here is or our thing or our item here is board. Again, board. Now, let's see. How many boards do you see? Again, how many boards do you see? Let's try to count. Okay, let's try to count. One, two. Again, one and two. So that is um the amount of board that you can see on your screen. There's one and then there are two. One and two. Okay? All right. That is number two, as you can see on your chat box. Okay? So we're going to put it here. The figure of number two is this one. How about the spelling of number two? It starts with letter T. Is the letter being followed? W. And then last one is O. So this is what two looks like. The figure and its corresponding spelling. Okay? That is number two. Let's move on to the next one. Ooh, the next one is a bag. We're going to use the bag. Again, the bag. Now, picture, from this picture, how many bags do you see? How many bags do you see? Let's try to count it. There's one bag, smaller bag, medium bag, and large bag. So one, two, and three. So meaning, how many bags are there? This is, or there are three bags. Again, three bags. So this is the figure, right? That is what it looked like. How about this one? What is its spelling? Again, what is its spelling? It starts with the letter T, which is followed by H, and then followed by R. Next is the last two letters, which are the same, E and another E. That is three. Again, three. One more time, three, three. Okay, next we have desk. We're going to use desk. Now, in here, how many desks do you see? I guess there's clue in there, right? There is, let's try to count. One, two, three, and four. Now, how many four? And how many form? How many desks are there? There are four. Okay. Four desks. What does four number or number four looks like? This one. How about its spelling? F O U and R. That is number four. Okay, for a moment, let me just readjust. Okay, again, this is number four. Okay, so far we've already did one, two, three, and four. Okay, almost half there. Again, there are four desks in total. Now, if you look beside the table, you can see our friend here, the number four, right? So that is a huge clue. Okay, next we have scissors. So we're going to use scissors here as our everyday item or our or the subject or the object where we count it. Okay? That is or those are scissors. Again, scissors. Let's start with this one. How many scissors do you see? Look closely at this picture. What do you see? That's right, there are scissors. So let's try to count how many pairs of scissors are there in the picture. Ready? One, two, three, four, and five pairs of scissors. Let's count one more time slowly so we are sure. One, two, three, four, and five. Okay? Anyway, look beside the scissors. We can see our cheerful friend here, the number five. But look, now number five is thinking and asking. It seems like he's wondering how many pairs of scissors he can see. Can we help him find out the answer? We've established it as number five. Number five. Well, we can tell him there are five pairs of scissors. Okay, that's right. The number five matches this group because there are exactly five objects in this picture. So every time we count and reach five, we know that we have, a total of five things. Again, five. The spelling of five is Five. Again, Five. That is number five. Okay, let's another one. We're going to use what object? Pencil. Again, we're going to use the everyday item, which is the pencil. All right, let's start with this one. How many pencils do you see? Again, how many pencils? No short pencils do you see? Look at the picture. What can you see here? Pencils, right? So let's count them carefully. One, two, three, four, five, six. Now look down here. We can see our friend, the number six. Oh, but look, number six seems to be asking question. He's thinking, what? What is this number? Same as in the picture. This is number six. This is the figure of number six. Okay, so there are six pencils. How about the spelling? Six. So that is number six. So this picture it helps us remember that numbers are really used to count how many objects we have. So stands for one object. Number two stands for two number or two objects. Number three stands for, of course, for three. Number four stands for four items or objects. Five stands for that one. Six
s- uh, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now let's say all this together. Number six means six things. Okay? Excellent. Let's move on to this one. How many crayons do you see? Let's count. One, two, three, five, six, seven items. Okay? Let's try to see what does it look like. This is number seven. How about the spelling? S E V E N. That is number seven. Okay. All right. Next, we have, or we're going to use paper. Again, paper. Now, how many papers do you see in here? How many papers? Let's count. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and eight. So there are eight members in there, okay? Eight members. Now, how does eight look like? Same as with the one holding this banner or saying this thought. Number seven. Not number seven, but number eight. Okay? The spelling of eight is EIGH and T. So that is number eight. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. We're going to use book. How many books do you see in this slide? How many books do you see in this slide? Let's try to count. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Okay, these are the different books. How many number or how many? Yeah, how many items are there? How many books are there? That is number nine. Okay, this is how it looks like. How about its pronunciation or its spelling of the word? That is Nine. Again, Nine. That is number nine. Let's move on to the last item, balloon. Balloon. Now, how many balloons are there? Let's count. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and 10. So, how many items are there? There are 10 items. How do we spell out this word or this number? T-E-N. Very simple. There are only three letters that you need here. That's 10. Okay? 10. Again, our numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Anyway, that's a successful evening. What a successful evening with all of you here. Thank you so much for your participation, everyone. You have not only learned the names of the numbers from 1 through 10, but you also practiced the specific pronunciation details for each one. And you even used very even though we used it very gently, or not gently, but lengthy sentences to describe quantities in your own environment. So that is what it makes it hard. Okay. So the number of knowledge is really critical. Please do not forget it. Your homework here is simple and fun. Count everything you use this evening and tomorrow morning. Count the cups in your kitchen, count the photos on your wall, count the doors you open. Every time you count, you must say the English word. So this repetition will help make the words automatic in your end.
Next time, learn the numbers 11 through 20 or more, which of course these numbers it builds, trust on what we did tonight, and we will put our numbers and our letters together in an excitingly newly, okay, new activity. Let's see. Okay, again, that one. Okay, that is 10. I know, not 10, but this one. Anyway, next time we'll learn more about numbers. But let's try to appreciate your listening, you trying to really practice it. That's already good enough. I appreciate it. So try to build on what we did tonight, and we will put our numbers and our letters together in an exciting new activity. So thank you so much everyone for your focus tonight. I am proud of your serious effort. See you soon online. Have a good evening. Okay? Goodbye and thank you everyone.